Because he's not getting the recognition that he seeks. See, we don't know. Again, this is what I have to go back to what I said before.
Yeah.
We don't know what his ultimate goal is in this. We don't know whether or not he's getting some kind of a thrill out of walking around looking like a woman.
Yes.
And people are looking at him, and maybe he's not getting that in. People have accepted him. He's not getting that adulation no more. So we don't know, because we don't know what he was in it for in the first place.
I got you.
There's something wrong with his mind.
Yes.
But he ain't crazy enough to go in there and get the knife.
That's right.
So that tells me that he's not putting all his cards on the table. We don't know what his he might have been for the last year or whatever since he's come out. He might have been, oh man, I feel so good, and he's getting that high, walking down and parading around in front of people as a 6'5" man or woman, and they're saying, my God, what is that, or whatever, and then people, if they don't comply with it, then the whole country comes down on them, not on him, but on you. That might thrill him. That might be a thrill. That's how he gets his thrill.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but this is all new, and they forced this on us without anybody having any kind of.
This is a social experiment right here. Yeah, and this social experiment, what bothers me the most is this social experiment is not on adults and not used in public places with adults, but it's being, this experiment is on the most vulnerable.
And what's coming next?
Yes,
pedophilia. Pedophilia is coming next.
On the coattail, huh?
Yeah, pedophilia is coming next, because there is a certain acceptance of pedophilias in the military. Obama had put that in there. There's also a little thing with bestiality in the military. Now, I don't know exactly what terms there. I mean, how they loosen the laws that were on it. But they did loosen them, and they're accepted. Now, to what degree, I don't know, because that's something that they're keeping under wraps. But they're getting ready to hit us with pedophilia next. You watch what I say.
Well, here, let me just, and I got a little bit ahead of myself in this field, but I just want to read a couple of headlines. This is from the Fox 2 Detroit.com. And we have a call on the line. Just hold on for just a minute. It says DPS parents protest Lansing bailout plan at the state capitol. Now, one of the we have we do have a Republican House majority here in the state of Michigan, and it says that the leaders at the demonstration denounced what the House Republicans did last week to delay local elections. Elected Detroit School Board until January of 2018. Basically, what they're saying is that before we give you, $100 million, let's come up with a plan so that we don't squander the money, so that we don't be in this position again. Now, so here it was parents up there protesting. Now, these are the ones that are they're the owners of the business. And so they protesting the teacher. This is the labor. And so why would the parents that are the owners, so that's like you feel you're the owner of the business, you go to Lansing to protest that your union workers should get paid more. You can just pay them more. Well, here the parents went up to Lansing to protest to bring the money back and the responsibility back to the school board. Well, before we do that, we seen just what happened, Phil. It was a number of principals, number of people that stole from these. Remember, a couple of years ago, they were running. The teachers were on television telling us how the schools were so bad they were not tissue paper.
Yeah. But aren't
adequate books for the children?
Wasn't Detroit teachers the lowest paid in the state for a long time now? Aren't they among the top money earners in the state of Michigan as as teachers,
They
the top or right at the top.
They up there.
Well,
and they need to be a little bit more accountable for the product that they're producing.
How many financial managers has the DPS had over the last 15 years, 20 years?
Yes.
They've had one. Every time I look around, there's another one. Mm-hmm. And now there's need of more management here. Mm-hmm. And what are we getting for it? The kids are not in the top academically.
No.
And they're certainly not, nationwide. And we are at the bottom worldwide.
Yes.
So what is the benefit of all of this additional money going and managing, and then we still get this? And then in this last bill, is it there a bill in there or a provision in there that says that they will be in charge of the charter schools?
Who would be in charge?
The DPS or whatever, whoever is in charge of the DPS.
Well, I know the unions want to get involved, but here, this is another one. It says this is from Fox 2 Detroit. It says some parent protest education plan to protect transgender students. So now this has all happened this week in Lansing. Now, on one hand, there were people there protesting that we want local control. We want our, we just give us our money back. Give us money back. We're running out of our resources. But
they want to give control over to the federal government.
But then the federal government, on one hand, so this is why the state, again, now if you give this responsibility back to them, you just give them the money and you say, well, and there's no plan. I mean, they need to put together a plan for the next, 5 years, 10 years. To give me a 10-year plan. Mm-hmm. Give me a 5-year plan. Give me a plan for the next year and show me that you can create a surplus every year also. Phil, because of what's going on with this, this gender issue, it's a lot of these government schools are going to start losing students. I already hear people saying that they're going to start homeschooling and putting their children in charter schools or private schools now. Mm-hmm. And so this is coming. And so this social engineering is going on by the government. The result is it's not going to make it better for our school children, for all school children, because instead of the government, here our local government, because it says right here, a peaceful demonstration was held on Tuesday at the Michigan Board of Education over efforts to protect transgender students in Michigan schools. So here it is right here, just letting you know that the Michigan Board of Education is involved in this right here. Not fighting over, over books or over let's teach math, let's teach science, but this social engineering, what's up with all the social engineering and not holding themselves accountable to make it a student better so that they can provide for themselves. And the result is that the reason why so many urban cities are so in just such bad shape, Phil, is because of the because they're not preparing these students with adequate with the training necessary, the education necessary to provide for themselves.
But they certainly have a very, very good understanding and a very good working knowledge of parenthood literature, because they make sure that stuff gets into the schools, whereas traditional values and things of traditional value are not allowed into the schools anymore.
Well, I believe that there is going to be a revolution that's going on, and a lot of people they're not going to be involved in these schools anymore. They're going to abandon these public schools.
Well,
But here, let's go to our friend Gary. Let's see what he want to say. And we have Gary, our friend Gary from Hazel Park. Good morning, Gary.
Hey, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
It seems to me, obviously, that our government is at war with anything decent and normal and traditional in our country. They're hell-bent on dragging us down into the sewer for millennia. Anybody who had these strange, odd thoughts were told to strap on a pair and get over themselves and act right and just stop being a fool. But now we've come to a point where any abnormality is something that we have to adopt to ourselves. We have to accommodate them. And in reality, they should just wear the clothes they're supposed to wear. There should be no gender reassignment. Just because we have the technical medical ability to chop a dick off of me, you shouldn't do it. This is not something you should do.
Hey, Gary, did we need to beat what you did? Go ahead, Gary. I say you venting this morning, my friend. Go ahead.
Because this is a mental disorder. This is a psychological problem, not a physical problem. These people need psychological help.
And guess what, Gary? It used to be classified as a mental disorder.
And those people that believe that that's not the case are the ones that we should really be looking at, because they're the ones that are proposing this nonsense. They are the ones that had the mental disorder, because they have convinced enough people to believe that this isn't a mental disorder. And now what do we got? We've got chaos, because no rules. The rules only apply to the rules that were here traditionally. Those rules are all thrown out, and
they're laws of nature.
Yeah,
I mean, these things have been going on since the dawn of time, and here we are actually having to dispute them and defend ourselves against this idiocy. It's just insane.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary. All right, folks. Thanks, Gary. We'll see you on the other side of the break.